insert the O after the word Reynolds, so we give it O. Yes, that's correct. Any other corrections or revisions? Not appearing, I'll have a motion. Motion by Ron, do we have a second?
Second.
Who's that?
Second.
Okay. Ron makes the motion with regards to the minutes of the 8th. Now seconds. Those in favor, please so indicate. Any opposed? Any opposed? Minutes as corrected or adopted. Let's go on to the minutes from the August 26th meeting. Did make a couple of changes to them. One had to do with a speaker's name, and the other had to do reminded by John as to what he seconded, so I'm correct on that. Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes of August 26th? David?
I don't know how I became the.
Do me a favor, grab the microphone. Make sure it's on.
Just another typo. There's a comma in number 3 after again taking place. The comma doesn't belong there.
Where is that?
Number 3, LAPD Officer Darrell Scoggins.
There are. Okay, well, my wife would argue with you over that, but that's okay. If you say that's a correction, we'll take it as that. With that, motion with regards to those minutes, somebody?
Second.
Who's the second? What?
David.
John moves, David seconds. Any opposition? Okay, those minutes will be approved as corrected. Remarks by public officials. Well, I saw all kinds of public officials today, but I don't see. There's Ariel, yes, and Mr. Scoggins, our diving person. So we're going to start with Ariel first. I was used to seeing about 4 or 5 all the time. Ariel, I saw your predecessor downtown council.
Hi everyone.
Well, pick it up to you and talk. I had it set for 7 sure.
Get it separately.
Okay, get closer. Get closer.
You guys are really light.
She doesn't have a wire.
Oh, this one.
Here, I'm going to give you one of these.
Okay.
Use this, and then I'll get down and work.
Hello? Yes. Okay, so I'm Ariel Bernard from Councilmember Bob Bloomfield's office. For those of you who may not know, Leonard Schaefer got re-elected today at City Council, so congratulations. Not too many announcements to make. The first thing is on September 27th, which is this Saturday, we're having a native plant workshop with the Theater Pain Foundation at our district office. DWP will be there to talk about their rebate program that they're doing as well for turf replacement. So there's still a few spots open. If you're interested, there's flyers in the back. I think there's going to be an announcement about this event, which is the Great California Shakeout on October 11th. But Councilmember Bloomfield will also be at this event, helping with a press conference and then also helping with the fair. So if you guys are available, you should definitely attend. And then one more thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was a beautification team. And I think we have a chair. He's not here. So I'll talk to him more later. But basically, our office helped in a freeway underpass cleanup last week, and it was really successful. And I want to work with Tarzana Neighborhood Council on getting a team together who can help with those cleanups in the future, because Unfortunately, there isn't a city service that helps with certain kinds of cleanups, and all it took was our supplies of brooms and shovels and bags, and me and my staff member went out to clean the freeway underpass for like 20 minutes. So if you guys are interested, please let's set up a team.
Thank you.
No, you said a record revenue.
Darrell, that one's working now.
It's working now?
That should be.
No, you should take this one.
Working? Hello everybody, everybody knows me, I'm Daryl Scott, senior lead. So I don't have the exact numbers today, because today I got called down to the Port of Los Angeles where the pier was on fire. And so we were down there with helping the fire department with the piers that were actually on fire. Beautification, doing the underneath the freeways. Definitely talk to me, because just like in the past, our PAL kids love helping, and I know they help Tarzana on a bunch of projects. So let me know, because I get the PAL kids out there, because they love doing things, mostly on weekdays. Tarzana Council, help them with supplies, and they went and painted out a bunch of graffiti and stuff like that, and they absolutely love it. So definitely give me a call. Let's work that out. This month we had a lot less burglaries, which is nice. Mostly south in the hills, there was very, very few. And the detectives are actually working with Ventura, because a ring of 6 guys were arrested over there, and they believe that they were possibly responsible for the burglaries over here in Tarzana NC. So I know our detectives are working with them. Open house was great. Hopefully you guys came on Saturday. It was awesome. A lot of kids had a lot of fun at the tours. I know I spoke with you in regards to the speeding or possible racing on Van Alden and Reseda. Definitely let me know a time frame, because when they say, yeah, it's happening all the time, and I go up and sit for 4 days and nothing, I need a little bit better than it happens all the time and nothing's happening when I go up there. If you give me like it's happening, I believe it's happening on Sundays, I have no problem changing my work schedule and actually going up there and sitting up there at that time frame and try to catch these kids that are doing it. They're no longer hanging out at Tarzana Park. These people said that they came back. I set the basic car over there and some specialized units, and they're no longer hanging out there anymore. Any questions? I'll still be around. You can hang out.
We have more.
Yeah. Hey. I don't know that.
Sorry for the 60 cycle home on the portable mics. I'm going to have to do something about that power supply one of these days soon. All right. By the way, something that Ariel mentioned, I was really pleased with. I didn't see the photographs, but I got the email from a stakeholder with regards to the Sept Burbank under the freeway. And I originally sent the email to Eric, and then Ariel picked it up. And then I got these photographs of a before and after. And when they say they were out there with the truck, they really meant it. They were out there with the truck, and they did a nice job. The only thing I don't think they did was steam clean the sidewalk. But they got all the trash out. It was really nice and a really great thing. I'm sure that, I know that the guy who sent the email was very pleased with what happened. So it was really great. All right, moving on to number 4, public comments. I presume that, is that Celeste? I presume it's a public comment on a matter not on the agenda? Okay, you going to do my lunch come out. Syed, could you make sure your mic is on and let her have that one?
Hi, good evening. I'm Celestine Beavington. I'm the owner of the South Miami County Association of Realtors, and I'm the liaison for the neighborhood council and the board of realtors. And it's a couple of things that they wanted me to mention. Actually, last week I was kind of nervous, so I didn't mention it. But Senator Paisley's office did help defeat a bill that they wanted defeated, which was the illegal wage. It was like a mechanics lien where people can put a lien on people's their employer's property. So that was defeated. And also, there's another thing that's coming down, the documentary transfer tax on businesses, not on properties, on businesses. And the LA wants to phase out the tax credit, the LA business tax. They want to phase it out because it will bring business back. And actually, at the mayor's luncheon, which a couple of you were there, he talked about that, phasing it out and bringing businesses back because the city is the city that it is, and most businesses are leaving because of the tax. So those are a couple of things that the South Miami Regional Association of Realtors are working with the public officials on here. Just wanted to let you know that. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Henry Jennings. Jennings? Okay.
Hi, I'm Henry Jennings. I'm a Boy Scout from Troop 139, which is based in Sherman Oaks, and I went through an Eagle project for this community that I recently moved into. And this project that I want to do is the creation of and installation of these things called little libraries, which they look like this. They're basically boxes of books, and people can come and take a book out and put a book in that book's place. These are really great for the community because they help. Well, I want to put them along the Orange Line bike path, which is next to the Orange Line busway. But in order to do that, I need to get the city's approval because I need to install them on the government land there. So I basically am asking for the support of the council in support of written form so that I can come to the city council and say, hey, the neighborhood council really likes this idea. They want these in there, and this isn't something that they're opposed to, so that they are more willing to support me and let me install these things there. These are helpful to the community because they promote exercise because they're along the bike path. They promote literacy by encouraging people to read books from them, and they promote community by sharing literature between all the people in that community. So if you have any questions, you have my contact information. I don't know what kind of written acknowledgement that you would like to support this, that you can give me, but anything that you can kind of give me to show that you guys would like this would be very helpful. That makes sense. Are there any questions?
I can make a brief comment. Question, is it going to be on the bike path itself or along the
They're facing the bike path along the dirt next to the bike path, just to the south of the bike path.
Okay.
I'm not putting the concrete or like the bike path, it's just in the fence.
The bike path is city, and the orange line itself is metro. As long as you are outside the fence, then you're in city property. Okay, I just want to make sure of that. One thing we cannot do is we cannot take action on anything that is not on our agenda. However, we can look at this for a future agenda, and I can get a hold of you, and we can look at it at that time, okay? See if the neighborhood council wanted to support you. What is your timeline?
Say again?
What is your timeline?
I would like the support of the city, not the city, of the council, soon-ish, like within a month or so.
Okay, because we meet monthly, and we'll bring this up in front of our executive committee. But we can't do anything with regard to it this evening because it's not on our agenda, and therefore we can't act on something that's not on the agenda.
Okay,
Okay?
that makes sense.
But I can be in contact with you because I do have your number.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Kuzma, William Kuzma.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is William Kuzman. I've lived in the San Fernando Valley for over 50 years and spent been a local realtor for the last 31 years in the community. I want to thank the Tarzana Board of Directors for your willingness to serve as public servants who are dedicated to the task of bringing the public closer to the government. Your service to the community of Tarzana is appreciated. I'm here tonight to announce the formation of a new stakeholders group called the Stakeholders Empowerment Enlightenment Coalition. It's a grassroots organization. We just formed at the beginning of the month. I just want to read to you our mission and vision statements and ask your permission to leave these flyers on the public table if possible. Our next meeting, our first meeting was on September 16th. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 27th. The community meetings are open to everyone, neighborhood council board members, city council board members, Department of Neighborhood Empowerment staff, the Board of Commissioners, anybody who cares to know what the stakeholders are doing. Our mission is to empower stakeholders with the tools to enlighten and effect positive reform of the neighborhood council system, which was created by the Charter Amendment of the City of Los Angeles. To enlighten City Council as to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment's failure to provide sufficient support and assistance and oversight to the individual neighborhood councils in compliance with the goals and purposes as stated in the Neighborhood Council Plan Ordinance. Our vision: a City of Los Angeles neighborhood council system in which every stakeholder is encouraged and empowered to participate in the conduct of business of their neighborhood council, and to demand that the respective board of directors represent the stakeholders in all community matters. In addition, we envision that all neighborhood council boards operate in full compliance with applicable laws, the Neighborhood Council, the Brown Act, California Public Records Act, Neighborhood Council bylaws, codes of civility, Department of Neighborhood Empowerment resolution, rules, regulations, and best practices guidelines, with honesty, openness, and transparency. Thank you. So, all right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sharon Willard.
First, I want to bring to your attention that you didn't have the dates of the minutes that you were going to approve on the agenda, just as minutes of previous meetings. Also, I'm a bit concerned that there are no copies of the financials for the public. It's only 2 cents a copy at Office Depot, and I saw on the receipts that you ended up doing it looked like 154 copies for land use, which ends up to be a total of $3 and something, but you can't go and at least get some pages of the financials, which are very important, and it's not like you have 100 people here. I'm wondering why, I see the white notebook back there, but there's no previous meetings, the agendas or the minutes to where people can go back and look at that. I know that you've got some current, and you've got some, like documents that are there, but I really think that that needs to have your past meeting agendas and financials and all that kind of stuff in there, at least for the fiscal year, so that the public has a chance to go back and look. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Okay, no further speaker cards, we'll move on. I'm going to assume that the gentleman who was smiling is Douglas Arsenal.
Yeah, great.
So why don't you come up, take the microphone, introduce yourself, and talk to us about Valley on Track.
Hi, my name is Doug Arsenault. I'm with the Valley Street Commerce Association, representing Valley on Track, a coalition of about 20 community organizations, 2/3 of the elected officials of the San Bernardino Valley, including Assemblymember DeBobney, Councilmember Blumenfield, and a bunch of other elected officials throughout the valley. I want to thank David for inviting me to come and speak and discuss what Valley on Track is. Essentially, our coalition is focused on ensuring the valley gets its fair share of transportation dollars. From Measure R, from any future ballot measures, from federal funding sources that Metro is looking at bringing in, and any other state funds that come in, particularly as we look at the cap and trade funds, high-speed rail, local connectivity funds, which I'm happy to talk about, how that additional investment can really help the valley. We can leverage local funds to bring in state, federal, and ensure the valley gets its fair share. The valley represents over 20% of the county, and yet we receive less than 5% back of the tax dollars that we invest in various levels of government. While systems throughout the county are being built out, the Gold Line was built without any assurance as to the full ridership. The Crenshaw Line down in South LA is being built in large part as an underground system with ridership variables that may reach 20,000 riders, versus here in the valley with the Orange Line, which has been wildly successful. Has become a victim of its own success. Initially slated at 15,000 riders, a full build-out over 20 years. We're now 8 years later, and we've got 32,000 a day. We're also looking at 2 major other corridors, essentially one long north-south corridor stretching from the Northeast Valley, the Stillwater San Bernardino Metrolink Station, where the internal line and eventually the Antelope Valley line can connect up, and getting those people who travel down Van Nuys Boulevard and connect up with valley businesses, residences, and potential development that can be brought into the valley. And then extending eventually down to the west side through what's being called the Spalding Pass, essentially running along the 405, help relieve that congestion. The Orange Line, of course, was developed to remove the congestion from the 101. Anyone who drives on the 101 or has been on the Orange Line, but it's not a significant change. The valley's population continues to grow. Hasn't been a huge shift over because the capacity just isn't there to provide the kind of speed and quality that we would need, and it fails to connect with the overall metro system, which in its vast majority is a rail system. So what we're looking for is for Metro to invest our transportation dollars into extending out that metro rail system, doubling capacity, doubling the speed, so that these options are realistic for valley riders, and we can relieve that congestion on the 101 and the 405 and provide the kind of economic development that's gone along with lines like Gold Line as a light rail system. So I can talk about these corridors, but overall, we're focused on making sure we get our fair share and we get investment into the rail system. I'll take any questions. I can fill in any parts of it.
You said the Orange Line is more successful.
Lauren, grab a microphone, say who you are.
Hi, I'm Warren Holden. You said that the Orange Line is more successful than the original plan. And when you put in the purple line or whatever it is, that means it's going to shut down in the construction?
Well, it would be the purple line. The purple line is what they call a heavy rail system, so it's fully underground and requires a lot more construction. The light rail system could be built on the Orange Line rather easily. The system was built to accommodate a light rail system, the bridges, all the major infrastructure that's required. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of investment to put down. Is already there. So the major difference is shutting down sections of the Orange Line as we go and simply laying down a track. All of these stations are already built to accommodate the light rail system because they foresaw that eventually this would be put into place. There's a state law, the bandit, we had it repealed this year. Some of you remember Nazarian carried the bill to repeal the ban. So essentially what would happen, I'm not a traffic engineer or transportation engineer, so Metro would have to study this and determine how to do it in the least impactful way, particularly in terms of transportation impacts, which is a major thing, I'm sure all of you know, when we look at any development project. Probably what they would do is they would close down small sections of the Orange Line going in one direction as they go, and it would move up on the street for maybe one stop to another stop. So we don't anticipate that the impact will be hugely significant in terms of overall traffic. Because the buses are buses. They can travel onto the street with rather ease. That said, like I said, I'm not a traffic engineer. We need that full study done, which part of what we're trying to do with this coalition is bring attention to the valley, make sure that these things are being studied, which we've already gotten some traction with. The Metro Board is now moving forward on studying the Orange Line as a potential rail corridor. 6 months ago, there was nothing about it. We already had a Metro motion that went through, and we're looking at getting a full study done, so we know what the kind of impacts would be, what the cost would be, what ridership expectations will be, particularly when we look at the Orange Line, and the estimates are half of what they are in reality. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and what we want are answers. That's what we're asking for.
Hi, Simon. You mentioned, I think a little bit earlier, if you expand on that, you said that is it possible that we could access high-speed rail funds and kind of work into that system? Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Right, sure. So in terms of state potential funding that we can leverage, one of them is the high-speed rail. The high-speed rail gets a lot of attention focused on the major leg, what really is the high-speed section that potentially can go through the Central Valley. That said, the first piece of that is local funds, local connectivity funds. So essentially, the state will need to invest in ensuring that people can get to whatever that major station is. They're looking at Palmdale, but the top choice is Aurora Airport here in the valley, perfect to go through. So what we're looking for is that with a commuter rail system, those design plans need to be in place for us to then get those funds from the state. So we need a study of it to be done in order to have investment happen. Otherwise, it's going to go to other corridors. In particular, it's going to go places like the West Side Extension, the Purple Line, which is great. I mean, that's a parallel corridor. They need that too. But the reality is the valley is growing exponentially, and we deserve to get our fair share of dollars back.
David?
I realize that this will take considerable study, but have you given any thought to how the rail would go through the various crossings?
Absolutely. So part of the light rail system, and this is one of the advantages, and provides some speed advantages, is that they would have to do what they call grade separation, essentially go over or under some of the major intersections. Some of the biggest, there's multiple problem spots along the Orange Line that back up traffic forever and create all kinds of emissions and traffic impacts and roadway problems. I mean, I'm sure that they've come out and talked to you about how we're facing a crisis in terms of our streetways, that many of our streets are D and F quality. A lot of that has to do with people sitting traffic and bumping. So if we can relieve some of that congestion by providing these grade crossings, it will minimize the impact and it will speed it significantly. Two of the major advantages of a light rail system, one of them is the grade crossings. They'll need to do something, both mainly for safety overall, but also for expediency. They'll go underneath, they'll drop off people and they can get back. The other thing the light rail can do is it can get to a reasonable speed in a much faster time, because it's a faster mode overall. There's various different numbers on what it is, but we can anticipate that the speed, the time it takes to get to a speed of, essentially with the Orange Line travels is an average of 15 miles an hour. We're looking at getting up to 25. to try and get through those crossings faster. But one of the huge problems we have on the Orange Line is the buses, even when they make that stop, they take so long to get across that intersection that in order to ease that, by going through these grade crossings, we can minimize that and relieve those traffic impacts.
Question, Ms. Schaefer. The blue line does not have grade separation. But you're anticipating grade separation for North
Right.
Are you well, obviously the problem is that current stations are situated very, very close to the intersections.
Right.
And you have to start a long ways back in order to drop far enough into a cut to drop below a grade on the street. And I presume it's easier to go below, take the traffic over. I'm not sure how much is easier. Do you anticipate that they may attempt to have various at-grade crossings with drop on?
Some of them, the ones that have not a significant crossings will probably remain at grade, but many of them will need to be re-engineered to go underground probably.